Well, everybody. There's a lot more light in here than I'm used to having in the extreme configuration. But we are here. Welcome, YouTube streamers, viewers, and Twitch today. We're doing a little bit of both. We'll switch back over to Twitch only a little later when it comes time to just playing games. But now that we're just talking tech, let's keep YouTube in and on the loop, Especially because big news dropped. So let's switch scenes. Let's change gears a little bit and talk news at the break table. If lights are on, but let's see if that'll work. Okay. And here we are. Let's make sure I can hear that over here. Perfect. Turn that down so you don't get any echo. Hit that thumbs up button on YouTube if you haven't already. Thank you all for being here tonight and hanging out, talking tech. Like I said, Radeon 9070 and 9070 XT were just announced. Prices at $599 for the 9070 XT and $549 for the 9070 non-XT. Now, there's some stuff about it that I don't see a lot of people talking about, but it has happened in the past with AMD graphics cards or Radeon graphics cards, where you get a cut down. Could you call it a cut down? They're using the same die, so yeah, it is a little cut down. And I think this happened with the 5070 and 5070 XT, or the 5700 and 5700 XT, but I do also think it even happened in the 5770 days, way back in the day. But long story short, you get two GPUs like this that are that closely related, but they have a significant difference in their specs. We're talking core clocks, all the different shader units and all that stuff. Yeah, the $549, so $50 less, and it's cut down a decent amount, but realistically the biggest difference there is also core clock. The advertised clocks have the 9070 like 500 megahertz slower on the core clock. That's significant, especially if you can overclock the XT or there's any headroom for that. Obviously just overclock the 9070, whatever the case is. But that kind of leads me to the point that I'm trying to make that I don't see a lot of people talking about. What if you're able to flash the VBIOS of a 9070 XT onto a 9070 and you can unlock more performance that way? Now, you may not be able to unlock more shader units and more CUs and all that stuff, but what was happening, and I believe this happened with some of the older Radeon GPUs, is people would flash the BIOS of the next tier up card onto the one below it, and they'd get stable clocks. You'd get the clocks of the better card, even if you don't get the unlocks of the additional hardware on the GPU die that was cut out. And that's significant enough right there. You get a sort of easily flashable overclock on there. And I think that could mean a lot. You know what I mean? Like, if it becomes that easy to do, I think that'd be pretty awesome, because that could probably mostly close the gap, especially, at 1440 and 1080. I'm guessing more at 1080, possibly more core clock, get more FPS. Radeons have really good rasterization. I don't think any 1080p was even discussed. I want to see what kind of just raw FPS these guys can put out when they're not CPU bound. Well, I guess you are CPU bound if you go to like 1080p. But like with a 9800 X3D, obviously. I just want to see what kind of numbers they put out. But all the charts are in 4K, and I think some talk 1440. So $599 for the XT and $549 for the non-XT. What do you guys think? Think that this is going to be something significant for AMD? I'm hoping so. Hoping that the people vote with their wallet, like everybody has been just demanding to do. Everybody like Nvidia can't keep getting away with this. Like, year after year, stock issue after stock issues, um, or it's an issue with their pricing, or it's this, or it's a melting connector. And this year, it's all of the above. It's issue with pricing. It's issue with the melting connectors. It's issue with stock availability. This year, I think, is the first year they hit the triple whammy on that. I mean, maybe the 4000 series, especially the 4090, but like, it's super clear now that they hit the worst launch. Like, you think they'd have a bad launch in the past. You think 20 series was a bad launch for Nvidia, and it wasn't the greatest. You think 30 series was a bad launch because it was just instant stock issues. And then it was the 4000 series, because they didn't have the melting cable issue in the 3000 series. So you get to the 4000 series, and now we have melting cable issues, price issues, and stock issues. Okay, all right, and now we're in the 50 series, and I think what makes it worse than the 40 series is that the melting connector issue is back, and the reasoning for it is even worse than it was before. It's like Nvidia didn't learn anything. And so AMD has, I don't know, a free, like, if this is a soccer game, the goalie is not in front of the net right now for Nvidia. AMD has an easy chance to score. And I think with the current pricing, they're definitely going to be able to pull that off. I am not a fan of the 549 for the 9070. I don't think that is the right price for that GPU. I was hoping closer to around 500-ish, not 550. Putting it so close to the 9070 XT is a little bit of a mistake, but that's probably just going to drive people to buy the 9070 XT, if at all possible. So hopefully there's no stock issues. They have been saying stuff about wide availability. GPUs have been out in the wild, floating around since December. 420. Joey in the house. What up, dude? Have you been keeping up at all with the news? Are we going to see a 9070 XT in your system, sir? Realistically, I think if the non-XT was 500 to 515, maybe 530 max, I think that would have been a lot more attractive. However, now that gives them the opportunity to just play around with the price of that graphics card, so they could go on sale and drop the price down, and it'll look like a better deal as a result. So they're building in some wiggle room. Everybody can clearly see that's the what you would call the upsell card, right? If somebody goes, what's this one? And they say, oh, it does okay for the money, but for $50 more, you get this one that blows out of the water by a significant percent versus the percent increase of price it is. And if you don't jump on the XT if it's available and the 9070 just sitting there, that's a mistake. You got to get the XT. You got it. And that's kind of where I stand with that one. I might wait until they release a card to compare with the 5080. If they do, there's no guarantee that they're going to go any higher than the 9070 XT. I guess they could. It could be 9070 XTX, but I don't think there's going to be a 9080. So if you look at the power wattage difference between the 9070 and the 9070 XT, it's about 85 watts. And you get a decent amount more performance. And I would say they could go up another 85 watts because the 9070 XT draws around 309 watts. And you could arguably say that up to about 375 to 400 watts for a mainstream high-end GPU is acceptable. And beyond that, you're in high-end territory. But like a 3080 is like a 6800 XT, a 3080. Those cards are between 350 and 400 watt. So if you just add a little bit more wattage and crank the performance tuning on the XT to get an XTX out of it, I think that might be worth doing. Will they get like another 15-20% out of it? That one's harder to say, because then you might get into 5080 territory, maybe. I mean, they could add a little more VRAM and then juice the clocks and the wattage and the power and see if hopefully that pulls it off for them. And it would be cool if it could. That's all I'm saying. It would be cool. And then imagine flashing the XTX VBIOS onto the 9070 XT. Sorry, I guess you could onto the XT and see if you get some more clock, right? You won't get the VRAM, but you maybe get more clock speed out of it, or all the way down to the 9070 even. It would be cool. So I hope that some of the reviewers out there that get multiple cards play around with the flashing across like that to see if that's possible. Probably, I don't know if any variants are coming out with dual BIOS, but those would be the ones I would play around with. I'm curious how much better it is at ray tracing compared to the XT. It looks like they've made a huge jump. It wasn't just another generational uplift. It looks like they went from competing with 20 series NVIDIA ray tracing on the 7000 series to now competing with the 4000 series in terms of ray tracing. So it looks like they went 2 gens, which is, they've needed it. They started behind with it. So for them to just enter the race was already at a disadvantage. So they needed more than a little just generational improvement with each generation that they've been doing ray tracing. And I think this is the first generation. First, he says. What's up, Beard? And I think this is the first generation that they finally managed to pull that off, having a multi-generational uplift on the graphics card for ray tracing. So it would be nice because, some people argue that. So, but the ray tracing sucks. Turn it off then. It'll still look good. You still play your game. But now if you don't have to have any compromises, because people who are spending $500, $600, $700, $800 on a graphics card, they don't really want compromise. If you're going to spend a lot of money like that, you don't want to have a compromise involved. If you're spending $200 to $300 to $400, probably you could be like, all right, I'll just forget about it. Turn the ray tracing off, have my full FPS. We're good. You're spending a lot more than that. The story changes, if you ask me. I don't want to have to compromise if I can. Can it do it? Can the ones before this generation do it? Sure. But unless I was only playing at 1080p, which I do, I maintain 1080p, I think that's when it makes sense, because you can still deal with that loss of FPS with ray tracing and still have good performance, whether you're on AMD or NVIDIA. But with the new 9070 series, now there's far less compromise. And then what comes next, right? If they can pull this off again, if they can do another multi-generational improvement from this one to the next one, that's it. They're tied. They're caught up on the main things, because now they're integrating all sorts of AI-driven stuff. Like, they're now going to be more on par with the feature set of NVIDIA GPUs. When in terms of gaming and ray tracing and all that sort of thing. Got a question for you. What kind of webcam is the best in your opinion? I got 2 for you. 2 suggestions. OBSBot Tiny 2 Lite, and then also the Insta360 Link 2C, which is this one you're seeing right here. This one that you're seeing, the I can see my hands. That's the 2C. The OBSBot Meet 2 is also a good option, but it's kind of basic in comparison. It's still 4K, looks pretty good, but I don't think it competes with the Insta360 Link 2 or Link 2C. Neither does it compete with the Tiny 2 Lite, if you ask me. Jay in the house. The GRE was the best foundation for AMD to work from, right? It's a shame that the GRE took so long to come out stateside, because that thing was a hell of a value for the money. The only ray tracing I care about are reflections. Wish more games let me select that. Only ray trace reflections, not the lighting. Are you playing the new Indiana Jones game, Chorizo Joe? Because I like the idea of the way that they're doing ray tracing with it. Because, like, I understand the limitation of requiring ray tracing hardware. I understand that. But you can't move forward without You can't if you're constantly developing games that have the lighting configured for both, you're always going to be 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And the whole thing with ray tracing lighting is your game engine should let you just put a light in a spot and then calculate the lighting for you, and the hardware should be able to accommodate for that. But the way that they were doing it is, oh, you want to turn ray tracing on? Okay, and then it puts the light, it calculates the bounce and all that stuff, but there already is lighting factored into the game because it's still rendering in the traditional way, faking all the lighting effects, and then ray tracing on top of that. So now developers are having to do a lot more at once in order to support that kind of stuff. And the game probably is still rendering, in a manner of speaking, both ways. So if you make it where it only renders one way, just ray trace, lighting, reflections, all of it, then it doesn't have the additional overhead of all the other stuff that it also has to worry about. And as a result, maybe it could mean better performance in general as time goes on. Spittlebug in the house. Spittlebug. Not yet going through my log. Oh, good luck. 90XX series just launched, and I'm already waiting until Black Friday and the Skullcraw post. Hell yeah, Skullcraw, the man with the deals. We'll call him Dr. Deals. Just kidding, that name's already taken. Hope you're doing well. Doing okay. Got started a little later than I'd like to today, but what can you do? You just keep going. We will be getting the games a little later. We're playing Chorizo Joe's favorite, Rainbow Six Siege. Used to play with us. He used to. There's been a lot of Siege. I'm actually very angry at that game and don't really want to play it much anymore because they nerfed the way that I like to play. Like, I'm not great at shooting in that game. I'm just not. The gunplay in that game, I'm very, very just subpar. I'm better at run and gun shooters. I'm not a big slow roll tactical aim with incredibly short time to kill kind of gamer. I love playing with the shields in that game, and those got absolutely nerfed. And so Ubisoft just kind of wrecked the way that I like to play that game, and now I'm just sucky all around instead of only sucky half the time when I'm not carrying the shield. And then same thing happened. I started playing Marvel Rivals. Hella was cool for a little bit, but if you can't land your shots, you're a terrible Hella, and I'm not that great again at that kind of precision aim that you need for something like that. And then I switched to Magic, which you don't have to be so precise with Magic. You can just dive in, spin, attack, swing your sword a little bit, and run out, do some damage, kill some squishies. Then she got nerfed too. They took some damage away from her. And now literally, I saw it last night when I was playing, that's the difference between just being able to dive in and get some people and not. And now you just dive in, hit a few people, and then jump out and nobody's dead. And you didn't do anything. Everybody heals up immediately and that's it. So both games that I kind of enjoyed playing the way that I like to play, nerfed the way that I like to play. So I'm not particularly happy with this crap right now. Yeah, Beard, exactly. Just hope you can snag a 6900 or 700 for cheap on resale. How cheap are you looking? Hoping XT for $499, maybe 9070 for $419. What? But they're priced higher than that right now, or $420. What? I mean, it's going to be difficult to even get them at their MSRP because they're launching board partner only. So there's no what were they called it before? The Frontier Edition, not FE. Their FE was Frontier Edition, I think, in the old days. In the old days, a few years back. Either way, there's no reference models for the Radeon cards. So the MSRP really doesn't mean a whole lot. Right now, it's being paraded around like, AMD has saved PC gamers. Good freaking luck finding a GPU of 9070 or 9070 XT for MSRP. Because the add-in board partners need their cut. They need their cut. That's how this crap works. So the board partners are always going to be marking it up. You're gonna have a 10 or 20% markup no matter how you look at it, because there is no reference model. So, did AMD miss the opportunity to miss an opportunity? For the most part, yes. Currently, that's what it looks like. But when they go on sale on March 6th and nobody can find the GPUs for MSRP, that's when the sentiment might change. They'll still be pretty good because it looks like stock's going to be fine, and it's not going to be that much more expensive for some of the lower end board partner models. So they'll still be all right. Like you might be able to get a 9070 XT for $650. So $50 over MSRP. Not the worst. And that's still a lot cheaper than the 5070 Ti it seems to be competing with. So it's win-win. But it would feel so much better if I can find one for $599, not $649. Been following since the Z440 case swap. Yes! I love it. I like that that's done so well for the channel. I have another project I'm working on that is an HP Z4 G4 case swap idea, but that one's not looking so nice. It's like HP watched my videos and said, hey, that guy in particular, stop letting him find ways to swap our Z workstations into cases, because they're doing crazy stuff with the power on it, and now it looks like I'm not going to be able to do it at all. Like it's not going to have a chance without the power supply that's supposed to go with it. I'm not going to be able to adapt to an ATX power supply like I did with Z440, Z420, and Z400. It just doesn't look like it's going to be doable with the Z4 G4. No reference. Womp. Yeah. 300 is probably a pipe dream. You might be able to find a 7900 GRE. Oh no, 7800 XT maybe. Ugh, that's tough. $300 for a used GPU. And you want it to be 7800 class? Yeah, 6900 XT might be the way to go. You might get lucky. Yeah, it is kind of a pipe dream, but good luck. You stream. So, do you have an AMD CPU, like a 5000 series by chance, Beard? Maybe 650 and 700 minimum for the cards. MSRP is fake, like Nvidia's advertised ROPS. Ha! Got him. Philix in the house. I've had a lot of good easy luck buying direct from AMD for CPUs and GPUs during my last dry season for GPUs. About over 30,000 in CPUs and GPUs from them. I imagine it will 30,000. Yeah, I imagine it'll be the same. See, I don't know. Do they list non-reference GPUs direct from AMD? Because that's how I got my. For the brief moment in the GPU apocalypse, let's say it was this long. This long was CPU apocalypse. And during CPU apocalypse is when I got my 5900X direct from the AMD website. 5800X and a 6600 XT. Have you heard, Beard, of AMD noise suppression? Everybody likes to talk about NVIDIA and their content creator suite of tools, like NVIDIA Broadcast and as connected to that, NVIDIA noise suppression, that sort of stuff. AMD has it only too. AMD has their version of it too. Nobody talks about it. Adds 1 second. All right. No, it's ref only. Exactly. So they're not going to be any 9070 and 9070 XTs on the website, on the AMD website, which is unfortunate. Mr. Sammy in the house. How much will be the 3-fan Red Devil and Sapphire Nitro Plus? So those are nicer models. At the minimum, those are probably going to be $650 to $750 for the 9070 XT of those models. Like Sapphire and Power Color, those are like their premier board partners. Maybe XFX, but it's mostly Sapphire and Power Color. Those are the premier AMD board partners. So they're the ones that are going to have a 2-fan MSRP model. Don't know what the stock on those ones are going to look like. I have a Z4 G4 with 2133 W21. Nice. Unfortunately, it's not looking good to turn that into a gaming PC in the traditional way that I've done with the case swaps. But that is a solid system, and they're pretty good priced on eBay right now too. They've reached the point where companies look like they're starting to dump them out. My noise gate suppression I sent OBS 5 years ago. It does well. Yeah, like I've always for just in general. Noise gate, okay, sure. Like if you have a little rumble in the back, or maybe just some fan noise, it'll still come through when you speak, and so because as soon as the gate opens, all the noise comes in. But then the noise suppression setting, um, speaks SPEX in OBS. That one's been my favorite. It does muddle the voice quality a little bit, but man, it really does take away noise, like just in general. Like that's the best one if you ask me. Some people who are far more sensitive to audio don't like the way that it makes you sound, but in general, I think most people should turn speaks on in OBS if they don't have access to NVIDIA noise suppression stuff. Yeah, but I mean, you crinkle stuff, loud noises, banging, keyboard noises, stuff like that. If the crying, pets, that still gets through. And I think that's where the AI driven noise suppression stuff, like the NVIDIA stuff and the little known AMD noise suppression, can help out. So I guess it depends on like sort of your environment. But my whole point with that anyways was the fact that nobody knows about the AMD one. And you have to have a 5000 series CPU and I think a minimum 6000 series GPU. You fit the bill for that if you ever wanted to play around with it. Keyboard noises? Yeah, man. Mechanical keyboards. You know what I'm talking about? I have to look at it. Yeah. I've been wanting my brother to look at it, and I think I'm going to make him do it because he sets his phone down. You can ask Haz about this, Beard, because it happened while we were playing Valheim. He puts his phone next to his mic sits on the desk, and then he takes his phone and puts it like this next to it. And he has really loud ringtones, so he never misses calls. And when he's sitting at his desk, he doesn't mute the ringtone. So while we were sitting there playing Valheim, it just blew our ears up. Like it's like a UFO sound, like sort of alarms, like just loud piercing noises, so he doesn't miss the calls because he's in a big rig all day. He wants to be able to hear it in every way possible. But he sets it down next to his microphone. So I need to get him on the Radeon, on the AMD noise suppression, so it will just cut that noise and we won't have to hear it no more. Oh man, so his brother seems like a cool dude. You're talking about Zalman, the one that we did the 5700 Extra D for? Yeah, make sure you check him out on his streams. He streams at Twitch a couple times a week, likes to play games and chill. He's not much in the talking tech side of things. That's me. But the same goes for Haz Agent, who's also been featured on the channel, and we'll be featuring him again soon with a chair review. Odin Lake reached back out, and we're going to be setting him up with a really nice ergonomic chair. We're going to see if he thinks a $700 chair is worth it, because like that's not a common thing for people to get, to spend that much on a office chair, gaming chair, whatever chair that you would sit in. But it is important. Like people say, it's important to pay good money for, say, like a bed. You don't think about it, but it can affect your health a certain way. You know, back pain, neck pain, what may have you. But you spend a lot of money on it, right? People recommend it. You sit in a chair, your back is affected, your legs, your arms, your necks, everything gets affected. So sometimes it makes sense to spend a lot of money on chairs. Businesses know this. That I work in a place where they have emergency responders, and so the job is 24/7. They have their shifts obviously, but they're sitting there waiting for the calls. What kind of chairs do you think they have? They have $3,000 chairs, and I've sat in them. I don't want to get up when I sit in those chairs. They're so nice. Skullhouse, what's up? Jay's waiting for your deal posts for Black Friday. My neck, my back, my neck and my back. A better price 5070 Ti. Yeah, even if it is marked up. Because it's 5070 Ti, it's already marked up more up. I have ulnar nerve entrapment, so armrests are important. Look at this guy right here. Hold on. This is I tell everybody to get these, by the way. when it comes to nice chairs. Hot dog, man. You know it. I'm just glad it's not like $750. Exactly. There probably will be some models, but the fact that you can get them for less, hopefully, is important. Possibly gets worse as a dream. I know, right? I always joke with that about Has Agent. Stream starts and he's up here. But by the end of the stream, he's like, he's like way down here. Clip it. It's worse than a milk crate, buddy. Maybe you like the flexi spot chair we talked about, but I was gonna talk about this. This right here, the Staples chair. I bought this. I've through YouTube review system stuff, just doing reviews, checking stuff out, seeing what I like, looking at the tech, looking at office stuff. You sit in front of a computer. This stuff's important, right? The Staples chair was like 150 to 200 depending on sale. Full mesh. It's nice. I love this chair. I bought this for myself. But what I don't like is the hard plastic armrest. See that? That's a nah. These make it nice. This adds a level of luxury. If you don't have a chair that you sit at, if the chair that you sit at does not have cushioned armrests, these are like $15 on Amazon. Memory foam cushion armrests, and they're like universal. They just stretch over whatever. These are nice. I love these. Oh yeah, there we go. Look at that. MSRP is low. Yeah, I'm hoping we get some good options at or very near MSRP. Because we're definitely going to be getting options that are not near MSRP. But the whole point of this launch was to have good, affordable cards. So if the board partners don't do AMD any favors and add $100 to $150 or to $100 to $200 on top of the MSRP price for their models, they're not doing anybody a favor by doing that. AMD needs the market share. The prices need to stay low right now because this whole shit show with Nvidia is showing people don't like all the prices of the way things are looking right now. Radeon can't let that happen too. They just can't. I also dislike armrests. Yeah, there's some people that don't use them at all. They'd rather not have armrests, but like right now, the armrests in this chair don't matter to me at all. I'm forward on here. My feet are flat on the ground. My back is up against the backrest. I'm pretty good right now with posture, but I'm not playing with the keyboard the whole cubit away on my desk. So I like using armrests even to the desk for posture. So it's like an extension of the desk, and I can have the keyboard here. I need the armrest at the correct level to do that. You see what I mean? Like, they need to be at the right level so that my arm stays straight. That's the whole thing. Like with the ergonomics, right? If you don't want wrist pain when you spend a lot of time at your desk, your arm needs to stay straight at the desk. I've seen people have their keyboard set up at this angle, literally. They're like this typing. Why is the keyboard up? Their wrists are angled straight up like that. I don't know how they do it. I'll take over the Radeon division, accept $50,000 salary, and I will live at the office 24/7. Yep, and you be the #1 GPU tester, right? You'd be like, oh, Steam fall sale, huh? Buy them all. We need to test everything. Oh, it's probably going to be another. Oh, that's another like quadruple whammy for Nvidia that they took out the PhysX from the cards. So video games that needed PhysX to run properly in the older days, somebody's going to do like a 9070 or 9070 XT comparison in like one of the old Batman Arkham Asylum games that needed PhysX, and they're going to see that 9070 demolishes. We'll see about that though, but hopefully demolishes the Nvidia card. That is something that I hope to see some reviewers do. and talk about. Like, look at that. They came out with better prices, better stock levels, and it can support the old games if that you still like to play, if you still play them. Way better, you know, like oh, and the power and the cables don't melt. it's a massive opportunity. I need my cushion armrest. Yes, sir. People who can use chairs without cushion armrest are a different breed. I've done that before, and it makes like bad pimples on my elbow. Like, it really irritates them. And ever since this, no more. My job to upgrade the chair here so I can take one from the dumpster. Nice. Take more than one. Sell them. Buy the GPU you want. These demos are pretty low video. Yeah. I have a steel case chair at work. I'm gonna take 100% if it's getting replaced. It's I know steel case, Herman Miller, all that stuff. Doc Quinn in the house. What's up? Nope, I'll get everyone the value they deserve. All right, Spittlebug for AMD Chief. Let's see it. Yeah, steel case, Herman Miller, all that stuff. And when they upgrade and those go to see a lot, hopefully you've seen them throw them in the dumpster. Because some companies will literally just sell them to, I don't know, I don't want to call it e-waste, but they set up contracts and sell them off to a third party and like a refurbisher. And then they sell them for a couple $100. I've seen that around here before. Or if you look at OfferUp, you can sometimes just find companies throwing them out and they're just letting people take them for cheap as well. That happens too. I know you have your own company who has them and you're waiting for them to do it. But hey, if you can't wait any longer, I'd start trolling OfferUp and see what you can find. That's where I've seen the refurbishers post. I've seen both ways. I've seen offices closing down, letting office furniture go for pennies on the dollar. And then I've also seen office chair refurbishers on OfferUp. And then you can get a steel case for $150 or $200. It's rumored that the Radeon division is outright hostile to AMD CPU division, and the idea that an outsider would head it up was roundly dismissed. They definitely need to be more like this, for sure. That is just a rumor that you mentioned. I've not heard that rumor before, but no matter how you cut it, those two divisions need to be working hand in hand because that will only benefit everybody. Better products, better ingredients, better pizza. Wait. Okay, never mind. I'm just going to drink some water now. Oh, you can see it on the camera here. I have a little upgrade I've made. I've got a screen right here. So I got tired in my stream configuration here at this desk. This is my tester bench / workbench. I have a whole nother setup over here. You guys see the screen. You can see Has Agent over there about ready to break his keyboard. And I have a KVM that has that little mini computer and then this computer right now on it. I can switch. I'm going to be cleaning that up and making it better because it's a 4-port KVM, has VGA. It's the old stuff. I need to modernize. And I already have the better stuff. So hopefully one of these days will be good. I'll be able to get everything upgraded, everything out of the room, clean it all up, all that stuff. But the point is, you can see him through the mesh. No. But what I'm getting at with that is, I forgot my point. Yes, whenever I do stuff up here, I bring over a computer and I dig out a monitor and I have everything on this little desk, and it's annoying. I do troubleshooting as well, and if I need to troubleshoot before I shift stuff down to there, I don't have a way to troubleshoot up here on this desk without bringing the monitor out and setting it up and doing blah, blah, blah. So I got a portable monitor, like a 15-inch portable screen. It's like $50 on Amazon, and it's going to float there. It's on an arm. It's out of the way. I can put stuff under it if I need to. And that's where that's going to be. And so now I have pretty much the whole desk for computer, keyboard, mouse, miscellaneous parts. And I don't need to worry about keeping space for the monitor as well, up on a desk with its own stand and everything. I've got it right there. But the goal is to have this portable monitor. Originally, the goal was to replace that monitor down there. But then I thought to myself, I'm going to take out that 22-inch, 24-inch 1080p screen and put in this 15-inch one. I don't know about that. So what I'm going to do instead, because this whole wall is getting upgraded with more pegboard, right above it, I'm going to put a shelf. And this portable screen is going to spend its time living over there until I need to use it over here. So then I just grab it from there, bring it over, put it on the clamp, and there, I'm ready. That's it. I didn't need to bring up a whole other monitor with its own power cable, dig out a display cable. I have the cables in a drawer right here. I didn't need to take up all that space. It's literally just put it over there, clip it over here, plug the computer into it. Nice and simple. And when I'm not using it, it's going to go off of here and back over there and be like a secondary monitor on that side. It works out. That's just more the streamer side of stuff that I want to do. Streamer and PC troubleshooting. The new CPU division is great. Absolutely great. I bought 3 Ryzen 5 7500Fs. Banger value. Nice. AM5. Good stuff. Love to hear it. Remember that the Radeon... Oh, yeah, okay. Cool. All right. I wanted to talk about Radeon, talk about their approach, talk about all that good stuff about tech streaming. We talked a little bit about chairs and hoping for the best. I might. I'm not even totally sure. What do you guys think if because we make no money on this channel. it's so insignificant. Spending money on an expensive graphics card just for like the memes essentially it's a losing game. No, we get it to somebody and it'll be good. It'll be good for them. Perform well, whatever the case, whatever. But the idea in my head is this, because AMD is claiming wide availability. I work during the week until Fridays, where I'm off now. It launches March 6th. What is March 6th? Is that a Wednesday or a Thursday? March 6th is a Thursday, which means I'm off on the day after it launches. How about a video that maybe I don't even buy it, I just go and look. Can you just walk into a random Micro Center and buy a 9070 or XT? Or at the very least, can I walk in and see that they're in stock? Right? Like that they're saying wide availability. The NVIDIA GPUs were just gone immediately. So if they're advertising wide availability, can I just walk into a store and buy it? No line, no waiting, nothing. Walk in, go, I want that one, and then pay for it and walk out. Could I do that? I can't. We don't get seated review samples for that sort of stuff. I can't do comparisons like I mentioned Arkham City on that versus a 5000 series Radeon or NVIDIA card that can't play the old games no more. I can't do stuff like that. Do a bunch of benchmarks. I don't have access to the hardware to do that sort of thing. But I can walk into a store, right? Maybe not so much with the camera. Micro Center doesn't like people that they don't approve doing content in their building. But maybe I can sneak it around with the cell phone. Or like, little pin camera, maybe. Maybe, just a thought. That's a good real life video idea. Right. Can a real person just go buy one? Get in your truck, go to the store, buy it. I think that might be worth making. Dude, knowing you don't make money on this channel and you do everything because of your passion for tech, I really appreciate the knowledge you put out there for us. I wouldn't be streaming without the help you give me. That's real. Thank you. Thank you. It's not no money. It's some money, but we literally have to just not spend anything in order to see any kind of compounding effort with it. And we spend a little bit of stuff, like $100 there, $50 here, $200 there. Doable. But a $550, realistically, if we go out and spend $700 on a graphics card, right? Partner model, whatever we can get our hands on, $700. That is literally months, several months of channel income generation for one video that might get us, if it at best, like our review videos of the 3080 each got a couple thousand views. So maybe they maybe generated $100. 3 videos, and across those, maybe, I'm being generous here, maybe 20,000 views. Yeah, I don't really want to get into like the nitty gritty about how the channel works because it just starts to get depressing, but I like talking tech, and this is what I like doing and sharing my knowledge with you guys. So I'm happy you are all here and hanging out and talking tech with me too. $7 to spend, get $100 back. That was the main reason I bought a 6600. It was the best buy I needed. Yeah, a long time ago in my screen went dark, when I had an 8800 GTX back in the day, an NVIDIA 8800, and it died. And I went to Best Buy. Well, I worked at Best Buy at the time. Whatever, I saw what was there, and I'm like, Radeon 5770. That's in my price bracket. It seems to perform as equally as good, if not better. That's what I'm buying. It just happened to be there, and I got it. I don't know if Best Buy is going to be stocking cards in stores. I'll probably check and maybe make that part of the video. If any stores in my area say they're stocking it, make a visit. Let's see if a real person can walk into a Best Buy. Even more commonplace, right? People know Best Buy. Micro Center is a little less known, and they're not everywhere. But here's a streamer question for you. What is the best way to actually stream if one was to use a separate stream PC? There is no best way. Actually, there is. It's using a capture card and a complicated audio routing configured setup. Or, like I've done a capture card setup with the AverMedia Live Gamer Extreme 3, where you utilize the line out. And that makes it so much easier. If your capture card is line out, all the audio routing becomes a non-issue. It's awesome. Nobody talks about that. But yes, that would theoretically be the best as a capture card solution. What I like to do, because it's just simple, you get a little bit of performance benefit, but the main issue is that the main reason is that it is simple. OBS teleport. I have OBS on my screen up there, and I have OBS on this computer down here. That's the computer that's streaming. OBS is just sending everything to that computer through the teleport protocol, which is more lightweight than just streaming from one computer. So you do get a little bit of a benefit, but you have to change nothing. If you have your OBS configured and ready on one PC, on your main PC, because you've been a one PC streamer this whole time, you just pop open OBS on the other computer, install these free plugins, add it, and hit start streaming on the second computer. You don't hit start streaming on the first computer. That's it. Nothing changes. It reads everything as a single audio source on the second computer. So you still change your volumes like you normally would in OBS or on your computer on the main one that you're sitting at, not the secondary one. You literally just hit start streaming and forget about it until you're done, and then you hit stop streaming. That's easy. Is it the best? Depends on your situation. If you're looking for all-out maximum performance in a 2-PC stream setup, you have to do capture card. But if you're willing to compromise a little bit, maybe gain a little bit of performance, but have the whole thing be just nice and easy, OBS Teleport or solutions like Distro AV, which used to be OBS NDI, they're amazing. And they're free. The capture card isn't free. Best Buy doesn't have the stock anymore. Man. I have a PC here with two 5850 black editions. Whoa, and a half 932. I think I have a half 932 down in the garage. The one with the big 200mm fans on it. And this is HAF on the side and even on the plastic or on the acrylic window. Yeah. OBS support for the win. I use it my 2-PC stream setup. It says J-Echo. See, he knows. He knows. Can you buy a Radeon 9070 XT? How about just, can a regular person, maybe that could be the title. Can a regular person walk into a store and buy a 9070 XT? It's a little long for the title. It would need to do some workshopping to find a shorter way to get the same message. But you know what? Maybe call it stock check. Are the Radeon 90 is the 9070 XT even available in stores? I don't know, something like that. actual capture card that uses PCIe lanes or like separately? Oh, like a USB one is what I was talking about. The Live Gamer Extreme 3, which again is my favorite 2 PC setup capture card, is a USB one. Can you just buy a 97? Maybe can you just buy is all caps? No, then the whole thing is caps basically. We're on the right track. We'll get there. But I think it's time to play some games. So if you haven't already, first let's switch back over there and we'll talk a little more. And here we are. Fantastic. I love talking tech with you guys. So I'm glad you're here for that. Thanks again. But I also use these nights to play some games with my friends. So if you haven't already and you're hanging out on YouTube, make sure you go follow us on Twitch. Follow me on Twitch. And I'll be on there and available for more questions and talking tech there as well. So hit the follow button over there on Twitch. And for now, I will see you guys over there. We're going to go ahead and cut the stream off here on YouTube. Again, wow, my throat's drying out. Thank you all for being here. Let's see how the 9070 and 9070 XT announcement and launch pan out, huh? Cool. Oh, real quick before I end it, Jayco, the most complicated part was using one mic on 2 PCs, but I saw that with the mic that has USB XLR, exactly, one to each, solid. So, yes, I love it. For those of you on Twitch, I have to switch over to 900p60, so you might need a refresh in a second. But then again, if you're watching on YouTube, head on over to Twitch and we'll talk more there.